Let the king of my heart be the mountain where I run, the fountain I drink from. Oh, he is my song. Let the king of my heart be the shadow where I hide, the ransom for my life. Oh, he is my song. You are good, good. Oh, 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 let the king of my heart be the wind inside my sails, the anchor in the waves. Oh, he is my song. Let the king of my heart be the fire inside my veins, the echo of my days. Oh, he is my song. You are good, good. Oh, 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 you're never gonna let me down. 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 You are good, good. Oh, 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 when the night is holding on to me, God is holding on. When the night is holding on to me, God is holding on.
Why are you striving these days? Why are you trying to earn grace? Why are you crying? Let me lift up your face. Just don't turn away. Why are you looking for love? Why are you still searching as if I'm not enough? these hands that are holding you. My hands are holding you.
The same God that never fails will not fail me now. You won't fail me now in the waiting. The same God who's never late is working all things out. You're working all things out. Yes, I will lift you high in the lowest valley. Yes, I will bless your name. Oh, yes, I will sing for joy when my heart is heavy all my days. Oh, yes, I will. I count on one thing. The same God that never fails will not fail me now. You won't fail me now in the waiting. The same God who's never late is working all things out. You're working all things out. Oh, yes, I will lift you high in the lowest valley. Yes, I will bless your name. Oh, yes, I will sing for joy when my heart is heavy all my days. Oh, yes, I will for all my days. Oh, yes, I will. I choose to praise, to glorify the name of all names. That nothing can stand against, and I choose to praise, to glorify the name of all names. That nothing can stand against, and I choose to praise, to glorify the name of all names. That nothing can stand against, and I choose to praise, to glorify the name of all names. That nothing can stand against. Oh, yes, I will lift you high in the lowest valley. Yes, I will bless your name. Oh, yes, I will sing for joy when my heart is heavy all my days. Oh, yes, I will for all my days. Oh, yes, I will for all my days. Oh, yes, I will.
Good morning, Waytown Christian Church. I'm excited to come to you this morning, and we hope that you're doing okay with the lockdown and everything and all that. And I want to finish out my sermon series on the 20 bad habits that hold good people back. And I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've liked this, leave some kind of comment. Let me know, and I can do something like this in the future. If not, I can go back to more traditional things, and that's fine as well. I understand everything is different, and everyone likes different things. But these are good things that a lot of us we get into the habit of doing. And when we do that, it really can cause a lot of trouble. And we wonder, oh my, what's going on? When actually it's us that are doing these bad habits that cause us to spiral out of control. So to start this off, I'm going to start with number one here, constantly mulling over past hardships. That's a big one because a lot of people do that. If something happens bad to them, they can't seem to ever let it go. They have to bring that up all the time. And I'll tell you what, there's some of the greatest men in the world have failed. Donald Trump had to file bankruptcy years ago when he was a young man. He made a decision. It was wrong. It was real wrong. And it cost him everything. And he even talks about that in some of his stuff. He talked about it when he was doing all that show, that reality TV show, and when he was hiring and firing people and all that. It was really good and an insight into Donald Trump's life. And everyone thinks that, he just had a silver spoon and it was all great. And, all of us can make bad decisions and cause some serious hardship. And he talked about how bad that was and trying to climb back up. Plus, his credibility as a businessman, imagine that. To a world where you're trying to be a businessman and you've already filed bankruptcy and yet you're still young and you're trying to build an empire and yet you can't because people think that you're a loser. He had a really, really hard hill to climb there. And people say, well, he had good backing. Well, that's true. But if you are a loser and everyone thinks you are, it doesn't matter how much money you have. They're not going to invest in it if they think it's going to be bankruptcy again because they don't want to lose their money. So everyone makes mistakes. So if he can make mistakes and other men, Thomas Edison, I can make a list of times that he tried to come up with different things and they failed. Experiments, Ben Franklin, it's just on and on and on and on. They didn't become a success overnight. So they had failures. I've got failures. You've got failures. We've all got failures. But the bad thing is when we constantly mull over those failures and hardships and we never really let it heal. What does the Bible say about that? James 1:12 says this, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, they will receive the crown of life." That right there says you're going to have trial. You're going to have things that are going to test you. But if you do and you stand it, you will receive the crown of life. Even the Lord knows that you're going to go through things. He was here on this earth and he had hardship. He had struggles and troubles, having people trying to believe that he was really the Christ, that he was really the Messiah. He was about his Father's business, yes. But a lot of people didn't believe him. They thought, oh, he's just a phony, or he's just this. And they had all these ideas and thoughts. If he had thought, oh, I'm a failure, why did I come here? God's made a mistake sending me. I can't do that. Then it would have been a failure. But he didn't do that. He kept persevering. He kept saying, you know what, that's okay. I'm going to keep plugging away. So blessed are those who persevere. You'll never see great things ahead of you if you keep looking at the bad things behind you. Man, what a good point. Reach forward. Reach forward to what is new. Try something new and never quit. You may come up with an idea one day and say, hey, I'm going to do this or do that. And people around you will say, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Well, guess what? It wasn't their idea. And if it's your idea and you got that idea, how do you know God didn't place that in you? I think everything I have ever gotten, whether it was music or bass fishing or anything else that I've tried to go, I think the Lord was behind, hey, you should try this. And you know what's funny about every one of those things? And every one of those things, even the minor league baseball stint for a little while, I was able to be a witness to people. My bass player in the band, I thought, how in the world could the Lord have used that? Why would that have been a thing? Do you realize, and I don't think I've ever said this, but the bass player in the band that I was in for years, when I left and then became a Christian and went to Bible college, do you know that he also quit the band 2 years later, also became a Christian, and is a preacher to this day? So out of that band, all those years ago, you got 2 preachers now. And I never would have thought that. And he said a lot of it was because of when I stood up and just walked away from all of that. He said, you know what, there's got to be more. And the Lord reached out and touched him. So, you never know that an idea you get is not from God. And it can make a difference in people. If you just give up, then it's done. But if you say, you know what, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this new thing at youth group. I'm going to try this new thing at church. I'm going to try this new program in my town and attach the church to it and reach out to people. You never know that God is not behind that. And if he is, he will bless it richly. And if your heart is right, don't hang on to the things you've messed up. Just move on and look to the things in the future and say, you know what, this one I'm going to do better. I'm going to do this. I learned from that. It's okay to say that. But don't hang up on it and feel like a loser, because we all make mistakes. We all have things. So don't mull over past relationships. 17. This is actually number 2 today, but 17 is denying your mistakes. Remember that most honorable people of all are not those who never make mistakes, but those who admit to them when they do. and then they go on and do their best and make the wrongs the rights. Which is kind of like 16, number 1 there, it constantly mulling over. You're going to make mistakes when you make an endeavor. And I don't know why people do that, but the minute they make a mistake, it's like they pull back and they stop and then they don't do anything. And I don't know why that is. I mean, no one is perfect. We look at these people on TV and we say, whether it be an actor or an actress or a movie mogul or whoever it is, and we think, oh my goodness, look at them. But you don't remember when they were 20. When they were trying to achieve what they were achieving, the mistakes that they made. Sylvester Stallone one time on David Letterman said that he had made so many mistakes he didn't think he was ever going to break into acting. And this was before he was even famous and a household name. And he said, I struggled. He said, I struggled with the language. He said, I couldn't speak very well. He said, how in the world was I going to be an actor? But I loved it and wanted to do it. And we're talking about Sylvester Stallone. He's one of the top action actors of all time. I mean, he was in Expendables the other day and he's like 110. I'm kidding. But, people still watched it and they still loved him. But when he was a young man trying to break in, he was talking about all these mistakes and all these problems and all these things that he didn't think that he would be able to make it. So folks, even great people that we see today, they made mistakes. And don't deny them. When you make a mistake, look at it and say, okay, that didn't work. That didn't work. I need to adjust this a little bit. And then adjust it. And then put it to the plan again and see what happens. So constantly mulling over your past hardships, denying your mistakes. Number 18, expecting your significant other to be perfect. Now, the only reason that this one is in here, I think, is because relationships between man and women over the years have really caused a lot of controversy. There's books about it. There is, like when I was counseling a few years ago, it is the number one thing. Why does he not understand me? Why does she not understand me? It goes back and forth. Men and women do not think the same. We don't, and we're never going to. So just accept that. Just accept that. That's not a bad thing, though. And so the reason I think this is here is because we expect that person. We have in our head who this wife to be or husband to be is supposed to love, how they're supposed to love me. This is how they're supposed to treat me. That's crazy because it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I don't want to get into all of that about how Susanna loves me and how I love her because we will be here for weeks. She's going to kill me because she's watching this. But anyway, it's just one of those things that I know I love her and she's good for me. I know that. And she knows the same about me. Are we perfect? No. Is there times that she'd like to pop my head off like a daisy? Absolutely. She just would. But she does know that I'm a good man. She does know that I love her. And, we are good for each other. She helps me. She can tell me things and straighten me out and say, that was bad. Don't wear this at church. Don't do that. Don't say this. Don't say that. And I listen to her. I may get aggravated, but I listen to her because she's right and she's smart. And it's the same thing. It's a relationship thing there. But she's not perfect. And I'm not perfect, but we're perfect for each other. And folks, what I want to share with this one is if you expect that other person to be perfect and you're looking for that, if you're a single person and you're out there looking for that helpmate, always remember that it should be a helpmate. Now, if they're not helping you, that's not a helpmate and that's not somebody you need. Don't get with somebody just because they're handsome or just because they're pretty. Don't do that. You are cruising down the road of divorce. I'm just saying it now before, I'm not going to get into everybody's business, but that is the truth. You need to find somebody that's a helpmate. Now, they do need to be attractive to you. I get that. They need to have interests that you have. I get that. But don't expect them to be perfect. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Accept them for who they are. Love them for who they are. Let them love you how you are. And these expectations that you have in the back of your head, how they're going to be this and they're going to love me like this and love me like that, let that go. And really that goes to even your best friend. Your best friend is not going to love you like you think he should or she should, okay? They are another person and they have thoughts and feelings too. So get these thoughts out. If they love you for who you are and accept you for who you are, they earned best friend. Because honestly, if somebody loves me for who I am, then they take me for who I am, and they're not trying to constantly change me and pigeonhole me into a box, then they need to be my best friend. Because that's somebody who cares about for me. Also, someone who comes and says, Steve, that was really dumb. You want to be mad at somebody like that, and especially if they do it in love. I mean, if they should, and a best friend will, okay? But that significant other, that best friend, don't expect them to be perfect. Remember that you will never find a perfect partner to love you in the same way that you had envisioned. Only a person who is willing to love you with all that they are. Someone who will accept you for you can and cannot be. And although they will never be perfect, finding a partner like this is so much better than finding someone who just loves you and says the things that you want to hear. Because that's not going to help you. That's not going to grow you. And that's not going to go the longevity. So that one's in there. What does the Bible say about that? Romans 8:23 says this. All have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Don't expect people to be perfect. Don't expect Christians in the church to be perfect. Don't expect people to be perfect. And we do. Preachers, listen, perfect example. We have to be perfect. Now you say, no, we don't. Yes, we do. Now think about this. We can't show anything. We can't go certain places. We can't act. Now I don't do that. And that's probably why I get in trouble. But I am me, and if you trust me and know me, you should know I'm not going to do something like that. But there are a lot of people that will not marry a preacher, okay, because they don't want to live in that glass house. Now, that's not fair. But you ask any preacher, I don't care, you go anywhere. You go to Indianapolis, you go to Louisville, you go to Fort Wayne, you go to Chicago, and you ask a preacher, do you live in a glass house? They will go, well... They may not tell you right off the bat because it's a touchy subject and you don't want to make everyone mad. But the thing is, it's frustrating when people try to treat you like you're perfect. I know I'm not perfect. I know a lot of my friends are not perfect. But for some reason, people think that if we make a mistake, oh, it's the end of the world. And that everyone makes mistakes. No one is perfect. We all sin. We've all fallen short of the glory of God. And we need to realize that. We need to realize that in our friendships. We need to realize that in our church. Realize that in our family. We are all fallible. We make mistakes, okay? And now you shouldn't live in them. Of course not. But we all make mistakes. So expecting people to be perfect, that special person in your life, your best friend, it's not going to happen. It's just not. It's not. You want real. You don't want something fake. 19, focusing on the negative. Man, oh man, oh man, is this today's philosophy. You look at the media, you look at the world, you look at the young people. I mean, I used to play games online, and I'm telling you what, that 15 to 20 some, they're brutal. They're brutal. If you do something bad in a game or what, buddy, you're going to catch the whole bar is going to fill up, and that you're a moron and you're this and you're that. How could you do this? They're brutal because the world is that way. The world has caused us to focus on the negative. It doesn't matter all the good things you've done in the past if right now you just done something that was really, really bad, okay, or to them they think is bad. Don't focus on the negative, because if you do, you will never be good at anything. Mark my words on that, okay? If you focus on the negative, two things are going to happen. One, you will never succeed at anything. And two, you will be miserable. Okay? I'm just saying. And that comes from many different things and doing many different things in my life. You cannot focus on the negative at all. If you make a mistake and you do something that's not working, then you go back to the drawing board. People are going to be doing this. They are. That's just the way the world is, and they're not going to stop. But then you look at that and you say, man, that was dumb. How could I fix that or improve that? Then you adjust it and you go back to the drawing board and boom, you're back in. And you're heading towards the right goal. But if all you do is go, oh, I made that mistake. I can't believe I did that. Oh, it's so awful. You will never, ever succeed in anything. And here's the ticket. I don't know how many times in church that has happened, where people have made a mistake or they tried something and it failed or it didn't work out the way they thought or somebody criticized it. And then they just went, oh no, and they backed off and did nothing. And I'm talking nothing for the next 15, 20 years. Do not let that happen. That is the devil. The devil kills great things through certain people. He uses people just like the Lord uses people to do good things. He uses other people's weaknesses to cause us to quit or to give up or to do something like that. And when that happens, that kills the church. It just does. It just doesn't, I don't know how to put it any other way than that. Do not be negative. Negative is not God. It's not. It's just not. The devil uses it to tear everything up. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes. Everyone here makes mistakes. And that's okay as long as we're able to say, you know what, I'm sorry, man, what a mess up. We need to do better. How can we fix that? And then you go to plans to make it something better. And then what's funny, if you do that, a month or two later, you don't even remember the mistake because this program or this thing that you're doing now is so successful that everybody's going, that's wonderful. Boy, that's just what we needed. Even though you started it and made such a bad mistake. We've all done that. But don't focus on this. Focus on what we can do and what we should do. Positive thinking isn't about expecting the best thing to happen every time. It's about accepting that whatever happens is good for this moment and then making the best of it. Stay positive. Hold on to what's truly important. Let your worries go. No matter how you look at it, some outcomes just don't make sense right off the bat. Choosing to carry on with your goals through this uncertainty is what matters. The Bible in Philippians 4:8 says this. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about these things. Don't think about the negative. It's real easy to think about something that I've said or something that I've done or something that one of the leaders have done, one of the teachers have done, and then think about that for the next 6 months. Okay, that's the devil. Now you can say whatever you want to, and you can say, okay, well, this was wrong. So what? Everything is. Have you ever failed a test? Have you ever put the wrong answer on a test and got it wrong? That's wrong. Okay, well, you can beat yourself up and say, well, I got that answer wrong, so it's wrong. How can he do that? It was wrong, and you will never be happy. And I don't know why people do it. I just don't. This is not my problem, okay? I don't have this problem. I never have been that way. I'm not that type of person. Because I guess it's because I make so many mistakes. I'm used to it and comfortable with it. I don't know. But I know that God is greater than all of that. I know God has blessed me. I know God helps me. I know God works through me. And you know what? If I make a mistake, I'll say I'm sorry and I'll move on. I don't sit and dwell on it. So don't think about that and focus on the negative. Some people do. And they're never going to be happy. They're never going to be happy, ever. Whatever is pure, whatever is excellent and praiseworthy, think on these things. That's what the Bible tells us to do. Lastly, never allowing things to be good enough. We are human. We are not perfect. We are alive. We try things. We make mistakes. We stumble. We fall. We get hurt. We rise again. We try again. We keep learning. We keep growing. We keep moving. And we are thankful for this priceless opportunity called life. Don't give up, folks, and don't get beat down. And don't think that it's over because you've made some massive mistake. There's gobs of people in this world that have made a mistake. Some people, of course, in China made a huge mistake. Bringing those bats back to a town to study was a mistake that it cost the world. And I'm afraid, when this is all over, they're going to catch a lot for that. It was a bad mistake. Sometimes people make mistakes and it affects others. This is a perfect example. It's affected the entire world, is what a few scientists wanted to study, caused this massive epidemic. And it's a shame. Some mistakes are bigger than others. But everybody makes them. We live in a human world, and in a human world, that means all of us are going to make mistakes. There are going to be mistakes here, there. The thing is, are we man and woman enough to stand up and say, I'm sorry, you know what? That was dumb. I shouldn't have done that. Help me, and let's do this and do it right and make it better. Boom. People will jump on board with that. I'm telling you what, more people will jump on board with something being positive than ever there will be some being negative. People want things to be better. People want things to be good. If you want your life to be better, take these 20 things that we've talked about over the past 3 or 4 weeks. Work them into your life and say, you know what, I'm not going to do that anymore. I am going to be positive. I am going to, stand up and be a better Christian. I am going to, try to make fewer mistakes. I am not going to let them hold me back. I am going to try to find someone as a partner in my life who is, or a spouse, a wife or husband or whatever you're looking for, that is good for me, that is a helpmate, that is a Christian, that leads me towards my goal. Because if you don't, you can keep living your life without these things and all, we talked about last week, the fears and everything that we aren't quitting and giving up. There's so many things like that we can do. But if we take these things and we adjust them, it is amazing how the Bible and the Lord can use you when you get all of that. Zig Ziglar used to call it stinking thinking. And that's what negativity is. Once you get that stuff out of your head and you start realizing that God is all-powerful, that God is awesome, that God does have a plan for you, that God can do something with you, once you get to that place, these things start to go away pretty quick. Because our God is an awesome God. He does have a plan for you, and He can make a difference. But it starts with you and me. We've got to be able to say, we can do it. Will you pray with me? Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for all that you've done for our church. We thank you so much for everyone here. Father, we thank you so much for what we have. We are a blessed people, and so many times we want more and we don't think about the things that we already have. Father, protect us, keep us safe. Keep our friends and family safe during this coronavirus, and as things start to turn and look up, Father, help us to, when we get back to our normal lives, that we don't forget you, that we still come back to church and we worship with each other, and we are realizing that what a blessing it is to be together and to have fellowship, especially fellowship in you. Father, it truly is awesome to be a Christian, and we thank you so much for all that you've done for us here at Waynetown, in my life, and in all of our lives. Father, bless us and help us to be true and real to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Same old road for miles and miles.
You've been hearing
The same old voice tell the same old lies.
been
Trying to fill the same old holes inside.
There's a better life.
There's a better life.
You got pain.
He's a pain taker. Lost, he's a way maker.
If you need freedom for saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. Search for the light of day in the dead of night. We've all found ourselves worn out from the same old fight. We've all run to things we know just ain't right. There's a better life. There's a better life. You got pain. He's a pain taker. You feel lost. He's a way maker. Freedom saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker.
receive it, if you can feel it, somebody testify. If you believe it, if you receive it, if you can feel it, somebody testify, testify. If you believe it, if you